A Florida congressman is asking for answers this evening after our year-long investigation waiting for rebuild. He wants details now about the federal government's oversight of billions of dollars of your taxpayer money.
And that money is intended to help those whose homes were devastated by hurricanes. Congressman John Rutherford sent this letter to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, which oversees the funds. He's asking HUD what's the process to make sure that that money is being properly used. For the past year, 10 Investigates' Jennifer Titus has exposed questionable spending and broken promises. Families who were told their new homes would take months tonight are still living in hotel rooms as the deadline to complete those homes continues to be pushed back.
So I'm not sure how I'm going to measure his water.
This is
Oh, more of my cooking stuff, the rice and stuff, but not my cups. Okay. I'm going to say a prayer over this.
it's I've been eating and drinking it.
Life can be a slow journey,
Let's give these a good mix.
but Mary Simpson
I'm going to put a little extra cheese. Hunter, come on. Mama's home. Yeah! It's excitement. I'm coming home. I said, with or without beds, I'm coming home.
never thought this season would take this long.
We just wait.
The Simpsons were one of 4,000 families who signed up for Florida's Hurricane Irma Repair and Replacement Program. The state allocated $480 million of federal money it received to repair or replace homes damaged in the 2017 storm.
When it comes, it comes.
Mary says the following year, they were approved for a brand new home, but there were continuous delays month after month, year after year. No workers, no home until this spring.
Judy? Are they here for the trailer, Judy?
6 years later,
It's emotional to finally say I got a home. I got my own bathroom. I got my own kitchen. Everything is mine. I'm not in a motel.
in May, the Secretary of the Florida Department of Commerce, Alex Kelly, told us the hundreds of families still waiting should see the finish line by the end of July.
The job is to manage those cases, and the job is to get the homes completed and repaired, no matter how challenging it may be.
Yet, another missed mark.
We are definitely in Miami.
Across the state,
Oh, here it is. Just up here.
more than 200 families still wait.
So this is home.
Yes,
This mom of four has been living in a hotel room.
this is home for us. This is my son's little area. Over here is my daughter's area. He's a little more together than she is, believe it or not. He's a little more organized.
Katoya Wright says she initially signed up in 2018. Then 3 years later, she got her official paperwork from Rebuild Florida.
They told us 6 months to a year.
Waiting 6 years for her home, time feels like it's at a standstill.
It's really hard, because they're kids. So you don't want them running, you don't want them talking too loud. I get so emotional talking about the holidays, the birthdays. It's all spent here, and so you feel like you have nowhere to really go.
10 Investigates spent nearly a year going over the program's contracts. From Katoya's to Jane Moore's in Tampa to Brenda Hughes in Clearwater, what we uncovered? Questionable contractor spending, scope of works doubling, tripling, even quadrupling. At one point, the former Secretary of Economic Opportunity even reached out to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, saying there wasn't enough money to complete all the homes.
It's taxpayers' money.
We sent our findings to the Project on Government Oversight, a nonpartisan watchdog group.
I'm shocked that a project of this size, in terms of dollars, in terms of households that are being addressed, has a single public audit of 7 properties.
Sean Moulton says that Rebuild needs to do a better job at watching the bottom line.
It is simply insufficient when it comes to real robust oversight, which is what's needed here.
And then there are the mounting hotel bills. Mary Simpson stayed in a hotel for almost a year. Jane Moore says she and her partner were in a hotel for 433 days. For Katoya Wright, it's been 3 years.
That is necessities for right now, and that's kind of all you can fit in here.
So how much is all of this costing? Katoya's room averages $120 a night. You multiply that by just 30 days, the state is paying over $3,000 a month for the rights to stay here, all while the state refused to allow them to just rent a home. A quick look at what's available in their neighborhood is far below the cost of a hotel stay.
It's 4 bedrooms and so it's supposed to be 2 full baths.
The Wrights met us in their neighborhood to see the construction.
Katoya.
Hi, how are you, Senator Jones?
We also had State Senator Chevron Jones meet us there. Katoya's home is in his district.
The state, we owe her an apology. I also think we owe it to these individuals to follow through on what we said that we were going to do. And the fact that she's been in this predicament for 7 years, it falls on the state.
When 10 Investigates reached out to Senator Jones, we sent him the same email we sent to every single senator in Florida asking about the delays in the multi-million-dollar state-run program. Those that got back to us all said they were unaware.
How is that possible that this went on for so long and no lawmaker is aware of this?
You know what's crazy? If we don't hear from the constituents and they don't share that this is happening, now that I know, now we're going to do something about it.
2 days after this interview, Senator Jones sent this letter to Secretary Kelly, an urgent request for an audit of the Rebuild Florida contract with IEM. That's the third-party contractor that won a $252 million deal with the state to oversee all of the rebuild projects. When we reached out to IEM back in May, they refused to do an on-camera interview and answer questions. Instead, a PR agency sent us this video of CEO Brian Kuhn.
We won't be satisfied until we have resolved every possible unsettled problem.
Brian, sure. The request that went into the president today will have 3 components.
10 Investigates learned Kuhn was the former director of the Florida Division of Emergency Management when Hurricane Irma hit. Now, he's CEO of the company that even Secretary Kelly says is falling short.
If our contractor signed off on something as complete, and if it's not actually consistent with the work, in other words, if they're essentially lying and they're saying something is complete but it's not complete, that could be an actual case of fraud.
He told us that the state has withheld money from IEM for not finishing deadlines on time. He questioned their organization of contracts after we showed him those mounting hotel bills, and he also says he was unaware of the homeowner's complaints, saying although the complaint form is on the state's website, the messages were all filed off to IEM to handle.
They're saying they were contacting IEM pretty consistently. They were very happy to see one of our staff or hear from one of our team giving them a phone call. But they are pretty consistently telling us that they've left messages for IEM, not gotten phone calls back for some time.
After this interview, he told us the state would be launching a fraud investigation over the inaccuracies. But then later, the state told us the contractor resolved the issue.
This is simply people weren't watching.
IEM's contract ended with the state on July 25th. The company says about 95% of the projects have been completed.
I feel trapped, lied to, deceived.
And now with a new disaster recovery agency in charge,
This has been life-changing.
Katoya, once again, has a new caseworker.
Did you ever think that 7 years later, this is where you would be?
Oh God, no. Never imagined that this is where I would be.
This here is our kitchen, which I love our kitchen. Refrigerator, and then my little nook there.
Mary finally has the keys, but her home, with 20 steps up to the front door, has been a longer journey than she expected. With a few more surprises.
But it's just loose, see?
Along the way.
Handrail? We gotta leave that there.
The
Turn it on.
fixture is loose.
There's a window here, the door's here, and I have no idea why they would want to put a power box out there.
The meaning of the program is good, but finding out that it was not planned out properly is my only issue.
You know, when Jen met Katoya told her, okay, the deadline is supposed to be October for my home to be completed. Well, now they're saying that deadline is the end of this month, November 30th.
My goodness, and still a whole lot more to this story, as you saw bits and pieces right there. 10 Investigates taking a deeper dive into rebuild programs across the country, how the state's lack of accountability has wasted taxpayer money and created a backlog of people. You can watch this special streaming right now on 10 Tampa Bay Plus.